Is everybody ready? Yes. Fantastic. I love parking. I love parking because parking can make me money. But parking's a problem. And it's going to continue to be a problem until somebody steps in to fix it. Which is why I'm here. My name is Ryan Tewksbury. I represent the new smartphone app called ParkLots. ParkLots is a cell phone app that allows homeowners to list any available space in their property to travelers in the area that are in search of a more convenient parking option. Now I'd like to introduce you to our homeowner, Miss Mary, and our parker, Mr. Pete Parker. Now, Miss Mary is a homeowner, but she's only about 200 yards away from Mr. Pete Parker. How do they know that they're so close? She has a parking space available, and he's looking for a parking spot. Well, that's the reason that we created the app. We basically are providing a platform for these two parties to interact at an almost instantaneous level. Credit card transactions make the transaction happen within seconds. And Miss Mary doesn't even need to be home to collect the payment. She could be in another state. She can be in Jacksonville. She lives in Atlanta. What makes our app unique is we offer value to multiple parties, and there's plenty of money to go around. The parking industry is a billion-dollar industry and is completely untapped. There's no app like ours on the market as it is. But we're taking it a step further. We're giving back to everyone in the process appropriately, so we can hold our position at the top. In this situation, everyone wins, and everyone makes money. Saves money, starting with Pete Parker. We roll over to Miss Homeowner Mary. She profits from selling her parking spaces to Mr. Pete Parker. Meanwhile, we make our money by taking a percent of the transaction in the end. Now, to dive into this number right here, 75,000. This is an extremely appropriate number to what we are lacking to finish this app as of right now and get it into a market and make money. Now, this number includes the amount of money that we will need to finish our app and all of those features that we're planning to offer, as well as the marketing involved to properly expand and grow in the way that we project and that we see fit. This right here is a breakdown of those costs in the most simple way that we could dream up to present to you. This right here is specifically the app features that we're lacking in order to make this a complete finished product. And I want to exaggerate that one more time. This $1 million idea is very, very, very close to becoming a $1 million app. And it's these few things right here that are stopping us. Now, the way that we produce this graphic is the bigger images are supposed to represent something that might cost more. And the reason that we're not digging too deep into cost is for one, the ease of it. We don't want to lose anyone, confuse anybody. And secondly, this is a pretty clear, cut, and dry way of showing you exactly how close we are and the progress that we make. So a few of these that I could point out, like some of the more important ones, and also some of the more expensive ones would be the cloud infrastructure, which you can see up at the top, obviously cloud, or the stack databases, which is symbolized by the stack right there, right in the middle under the app features. Those are the most expensive, and some of the easier things that we're looking at is the social media connection like Facebook or Twitter or anything like that to partner with your login to create a more appropriate platform. The customers will be able to know each other, be able to implement the customer review system, so on and so forth. So implementing the social media structure is actually one of the easier parts of getting this thing to go to market. And believe it or not, that's actually one of the most unique features that will set us apart from anyone else who plans to enter the market. So all these things are extremely important in their own way. We'll touch on it more later. Same idea for these graphics. This just now represents our marketing costs. A few of those, would include a field team, which is one of our most exciting marketing opportunities. Especially here at the Georgia Southern campus, to get this thing up and running, we have an extremely able and willing Georgia Southern student body population. I mean, I'm extremely proud to be from Georgia Southern. I know there's plenty of people out here that feel exactly the same way I do about being from Statesboro. And we all take a lot of pride in this. And for me to push this far, I was really hoping to push some of that, or some of that back into other students' hands. You know, and I feel like students are willing to help. People are behind our idea, and it's a completely viable reason, or way to get our feet wet. But to go further and to make this thing the $1 million app that all of us know it could be, we're going to need to push into a bigger market. And these are some more costs that would be associated in expansion. And again, graphically proportional. The top is. Okay. Thank you for your time. I'm here for any questions. Yes, for everyone that didn't hear, the question was, what is our go-to-market strategy? And that's something that we've actually been working on extremely hard during this competition. It was brought to our attention that we need to come up with the most viable way to get into markets that have problems with parking. And all of us know specific circumstances we've had where parking is a problem, but it's not always a problem. So a good example would be to get our feet wet. You know, you could picture the bottleneck of Nats Landing, for instance, right across from the practice fields of the Georgia Southern University. So if students are looking to go to campus, they're running late to class, they have a parking pass for, let's say, somewhere along that end of campus, it's around Hannah or something. The lot's full, it's the first few weeks of classes. We know Georgia Southern's growing, and we're also aware that Georgia Southern can't fix these parking problems because of all the other money that we're putting into the new dining commons and everything along that end. So to get the first initial wave out into the public, we would use Georgia Southern, and we would shamelessly use Georgia Southern because of the amount of customer validation we receive from Georgia Southern as a whole. Students, faculty, residents, all the locals, anyone that we have approached the idea with in this area has been on our page. So that's an extremely good way to get the ball moving. And then from there, we'd be able to move into all other college towns, which would, the opportunity is practically endless. And from there, we would try to work our way into the biggest, most competitive market that we know this can handle, which would be overflow areas in large populated cities, like Atlanta has 5 million people. That's eventually where we'd like for this to take off. But realistically, we need that support, that backing. We need those baby steps for everyone to trust the way that we want them to. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, Ryan, so can everybody hear me now? Is that better? Okay, great. Great idea. Tell me how you verify the parking, the logistics about verifying that person. You said homeowner doesn't have to be home. What would prevent a person, for instance, finding out where parking spaces are and then just
Yeah, it's a great question. And that's something that is actually solved very easily in the app. So by coding into the app a red flag, if you will, for people who are improperly using our app, meaning we can collect the data, analyze that data, and if there's an outlier, let's say someone's charging an unrealistic price in the customer review system, is constantly showing up 1 star, there's negative feedback consistently, well then there would be some sort of trigger that flags the administrative team, and then we would have some sort of system, first time warning, second time freeze account for a week, third time kicked off that, something along those lines. And that's gonna produce the environment we want and keep all the riffraff out. And that's our plan of attack as of now. It's likely to change, but it's held up this long, and I stand by it. I think this is the most appropriate way to handle that problem.
So what thought have you given to liability?
Plenty of thought to liability. And I wish I could have given more of my thoughts to liability. But unfortunately, to get people to ask liability questions, all of this has to be in motion first. And from what I understand, what I have looked up about the liability and the legal issues involved, as a whole, this idea holds up legally. Now, as for liability, that is something we have to look into deeper. I'm aware that insurance is mildly protective over us, but at the same time, I don't have an appropriate answer for you. Love to talk to you after. I got a great coder named John. He knows mildly more information about it than me. He can be a better help, but we'll definitely talk about it afterwards. Yes, sir.
I guess my question to you is, are you guys thinking too small in this? And I said that, from the standpoint of, having lived in Atlanta, I know you're looking at those at the end, but if you think about it, those may be some of your really good initial gifts for using an app like this, because they will have folks on site, it's a way to attract that flow of traffic
Yep.
into those high areas, so really consider that. And then also, as you're trying to develop, think about how this could possibly be used with things like cameras. To also help either as an added feature so that the parker
Right.
could see the location or the environment that they may be parking in, or if you're working with cities or stuff like that, so that they can actually tap into their camera network and their traffic network or
Right.
something like this. So I think you may be limiting yourself.
I appreciate that feedback. I can see where that seems to be the case. We're actually thinking quite the opposite. The problem we had this week was us thinking too broad and too big. We have a lot of great opportunities with this platform, but to get the idea into your minds properly, this is the most simplistic way to do it. If you go to our website, ParkLots.com, we have tons of other investment opportunities that would be possible with our app down the road. So basically, an investment in this app now, though it might seem like a lot to get this thing up and running, it's actually an investment into multiple markets, and you can find out those markets right now on our website. We have plenty of other options to go with this. Bars, if you're in a bar at night and you want to cut down on DUIs, well, you can just make the time long, you don't have to drive home. Towing companies, we can go to towing companies, we can get transactions going with them. This is all something that you can look up on the website. Those are just two other examples, but we're not thinking small. But I can see where that's going to be. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate that.